Alright, hi guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video. Now, I want to do a video on something I've been thinking about a little bit, and something I've been reading about, and I've been thinking about perfectionism. Is perfectionism really a perfect thing? Now, I've been reading a bit about it, and I could see that there certainly are some downsides to perfectionism. I mean, a lot of times you will have people who will speak of perfectionism as something that's really a good thing. You know, I'm a perfectionist. I like to get things done perfect. That's how I am. They'll speak of it as if it were a really good attribute, a really good thing to have. But is it really? Because a lot of times people who are perfectionists may not even start things. They may not even do things out of fear of not being able to make that thing perfect. So they may be like, well, I can't do this thing perfect, so because I can't do it perfect, I'm not even going to try. And that's definitely the curse of the perfectionist right there. That truly is the curse of the perfectionist. You know, because they can't make it perfect, well, then they're not even going to try doing it. So they don't even do it, and they never end up doing whatever project they wanted to do, whether it's painting a picture, writing a book, a novel, you know, whatever. So in that sense, yeah, perfectionism can be a negative thing. Another thing is, when you're striving for perfectionism, it's could often really drive you nuts to try to obtain this mythical level of perfection. You know, it could really kind of drive you nuts if you're trying to obtain this mythical level of perfection, and then you have to really kind of think about, what is perfection? You know, is perfection a matter of perception? I mean, it certainly can be. I mean, for example, take a group of people who think Jimi Hendrix wrote really great guitar solos. You know, those solos were really great. They're really innovative. He really pushed the guitar to new boundaries. They were just awesome solos. Now, take someone else who says, well, Jimi Hendrix's guitar solos were just noise. You know, they were rubbish. Who was really a great soloist was Mozart. Mozart wrote great solos. You know, he really did. He was way ahead of his time, just a great player. And the people who like Jimi Hendrix could be like, oh, Mozart was kind of dull, kind of boring, uninteresting. So, I mean, it's really a matter of perception as to which one was really great, as to which one was perfect. You know, one group sees one thing as perfect, the other group sees another thing as being perfect. So, yeah, it's a matter of perception. You know, another kind of downfall of perfectionism is that perfectionists sometimes could be kind of prone to having like Achilles heels. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you make a YouTube video, if a perfectionist makes a YouTube video and they find one little thing wrong with that video, they may redo the whole thing over again because there's one little thing wrong, or they may delete the whole video and just never do it over again. You know, that will be it. So, yeah, just kind of like being prone to these like Achilles heel things. You know, one little thing being wrong sabotages the whole project. That's another pitfall of the perfectionist, that's for sure. But, yeah, it's kind of interesting to think about this kind of stuff, because I do think to some degree some perfectionism is good. I mean, you should always strive for excellence. You should always strive to do things to the best of your ability, but you can drive yourself nuts if you try to obtain this mythical level of perfectionism, which could be, like I said already, a matter of perception. You know, the thing that's perfect could be a matter of perception. But yeah, so, you know, some perfectionism is good if it's normal perfectionism, what they call normal perfectionism, but it's neurotic perfectionism that tends to be pretty negative and could be a detriment on someone. You know, it's like, for example, I do these YouTube videos, and a lot of times I'll do a video, and the first video I kind of will kind of give me sort of like a framework and whatnot. Sometimes I'll do the video on one take and be done with it. Other times I'll have to do a second take because I kind of just use the first video to sort of develop sort of a framework for the video, and the second video kind of smooths things out a bit. And a lot of times I could make a better video on the second take. On the third take, however, it may or may not be better. You know, sometimes it'll be better, sometimes things will be a little smoother, but sometimes my energy level might be a little lower because I might be getting bored now. So, you know, on the third time, who knows? Now, if I were to do it a fourth time, who's to say it would be better? So, if you keep trying to do things, it is possible sometimes to get diminishing returns. I mean, you can get diminishing returns if you do try to make things perfect sometimes. But, yeah, so, just kind of an interesting thing. I mean, there are other things regarding perfectionists. For example, I know that perfectionists a lot of times will view mistakes as failures. If they have one little mistake, they'll kind of see it as a failure, and they'll stop doing it. Failures a lot of times are important and crucial to one's development. Perfectionists will see those mistakes, and they'll just want to end the whole thing. When, like I said, mistakes can be important. Another thing is, a lot of times perfectionists might not really understand that there's a process to doing certain things. For example, perfectionists could go to a gym and after the first or second time be like, well, I don't look like a 1974 Arnold Schwarzenegger, so I'm just going to end this and not go to the gym anymore. After they've only went once or twice. So they may not realize that there's a process to doing things. That could happen with the perfectionist as well. So, yeah, as you can see, there really are some negative aspects of being a perfectionist. Another thing is, they say if a perfectionist becomes an alcoholic or a drug addict, that could be very bad for them because, they're not going to be doing things to their level of perfection. So as a result, they could commit suicide. I mean, that has happened. But, yeah, just kind of wanted to talk about this because this is, something that I have thought about. And, there are a number of different resources out there that do talk about this and do talk about perfectionism. But like I said, I do think a certain amount of perfectionism is good, that you should strive for excellence. But it's just when it gets to this like neurotic level, or when you're striving for this mythical level of perfection, that the perfectionism could be a detriment. But yeah, that's all I've got. I just kind of wanted to talk about this. Like I said, I was thinking about it. If you enjoyed this video, as always, I thank you for watching. Have a good night.